broadcast. Now I said to start in 5 minutes, and it started immediately. Wow, that's awkward. Had several people waiting, so apologies for that. Not pulling the wool out from under you, not playing Lucy with Charlie Brown. Very frustrating what happened there. Yeah. Anyway, what can I say? Typical sort of stuff. Tech foibles here. When you're on the road, things don't always work as smoothly as you'd like them to, and this is a case of it right there. Anyway, yeah. So, trying to find a quiet space in England where you can broadcast and get something out there isn't the easiest thing to do. Why do I have 4 likes and 1 viewer? Something's not wrong or not right, YouTube. Fix it. There we go. All right. You're back. Okay, good. Good to see you back there. Can't see who that was. I can read the text, but it's hard to read the names. Welcome back, folks. 45. That was fast. Thank you all for joining me here from merry old England. As I was saying a moment ago, it's difficult to find a place in England that's quiet where you can be by yourself. It isn't always easy. I did find some gardens, though. I'm sitting here in the Midlands, and quite lovely. Here, let me show you what it looks like the other side for me. Yeah, I did disappear. Sorry about that. So here you go. That's what I'm looking at. You can't see that. I would show you that as backdrop, but the problem is that the bench doesn't face that way, and I don't feel like standing for an hour. So that's the backdrop that I'm looking at right now. So I hope you like that. It's pretty nice, huh? Very lovely. It's very pretty. Anyway, so it's better looking than I am. I'll give it that. So that's the background behind me. But anyway, for those who weren't paying attention, which seems to be quite a few people who are episodic viewers, there goes a helicopter. Some people seem to be episodic viewers. Are like, Chris, where did you go? I've got so many messages of concern. So I did a short video yesterday, but I got to tell you, obviously, I've been running on sleep deprivation for quite some time here because I pretty much, after I bedded down yesterday afternoon, I made that video. I was tired. I laid down. I woke up after midnight. I got something to drink. I went back to sleep. I woke up in the morning. I was tired. I didn't get up. I didn't get up till around noon. So I pretty much slept 9, 12, about 16 hours with a couple wake-ups in between. Yeah, so sleep deprivation. Didn't really sleep on the flight. And I've been really denying myself sufficient sleep or proper sleep back home, bringing you the news and everything. So obviously it all hit at once, and away from all the distractions for a few minutes, I actually caught up on some sleep, which was wild. So I'm still a little tired now, but but you got to get moving eventually here. So yeah. So tomorrow I will be in the Lakes District, which is a little further up in the Midlands here. And I will be bringing these. I got some news for you tonight to talk a little bit about news. A little difficult to do here sitting outdoors because I don't have my laptop and Wi-Fi, but I do have my other phone, which is on 2G connection. Yeah, it's only 2G. This is a 5K, so that's a 2G or 4K connection. This is 2G. So anyway, but this seems to be working fine. Hey, Erica, but a lot of people were like, Chris, where'd you go? What happened? Are you okay? Folks, I've been telling people for donkey years that I've been coming to England for the Women's Rugby World Cup. I'm also going to Idaho when I get back to the States. A few days after I get back to the States, I'll be going to Idaho the next week for probably about a week, and then I'll be coming back. So I've been telling people this for ages, but I guess some people are episodic or they're not listening, they don't hear. But anyway, so here I'm here. I'll be in England for a few weeks now, covering the Women's Rugby World Cup. First game I'm going to is this Friday. It's in Sunderland. It's USA versus England. Yep. That's the opening match of the World Cup. I've never been to a World Cup opening match of any World Cup, so this will be a first for me. That'll be exciting. And then Saturday I've got games in York, and on Sunday in Northampton. So a bit of driving. Yep. If you're buffering, it's you. It's not on my end. You're having a problem there. So I apologize for not bringing the daily news, folks, but here we are. And a little bit of news to talk about. First off, let me talk about the Springboks. I made a short video about that earlier. I need to edit it. That'll be a few hours before I get around to editing that and uploading it. And I've got to log into my software. It only lets you have one device active at a time, so that takes a little while. Anyway, the Springboks have 10 changes for Saturday's game against the Wallabies after the embarrassing dog poo performance they put on last week in Ellis Park, allowing the Wallabies to win a game there for the first time in 63 years, I think it was. Crazy. So 10 changes, a lot of it not to be expected, but the one big surprise for me was the lock switch out. Lou Diagra and Eben Etzebeth, both who had good games, and Etzebeth, who had a monster game, both start on the bench. I don't know if that's bringing strength later in the game, if they think it's necessary, so they've got some backup. But they're both starting on the bench, maybe want them fresh for the second half. A little bit surprised, Rowan Nortkia comes in, as does Arge Stamen. Both capable, and Arge Stamen's a monster. In fact, arguably at this stage, maybe even better than Lou Diagra. But the point is that a bit surprising to see those two come out. Billy LaRue comes back in at fullback, and Andre Pollard takes over at fly half. None of those are surprises to me. All the media claiming that Monty Lubbock was the starting guy. It's just nonsense. He's not the top fly half from the Springboks roster. There's no way that's the case. Never bought that story for a second. All right, so the story with the general Mapwanye, this general who went to Iran and pretended he was a diplomat instead of a military officer, isn't going away. Parliament's now looking into it. The defense minister, Minister Angie 30%er, she said Mani isn't in the top 10 starting flaps for. Isn't how I'd agree with that article. This general, who Minister 30% Angie Mochek is showing and displaying her skills of incompetence once again as defense minister. Of course, she's not really a minister. She's not really a cabinet member. She's just a political operative pretending to be a competent politician. She's never been that. She's not been a political operative. And so Angie Mochek, who destroyed basic education in South Africa, lowering standards to ridiculously level, holding South Africans to a 30% standard for a passing mark, and now in charge of defense, she would know her way around the defense building if someone gave her a guided tour. She is the defense minister, and she's completely clueless. She thinks it's perfectly okay for a general officer to go to a foreign country and act as a diplomat, expressing diplomatic goals. It's one thing to talk about defense cooperation, which generals are allowed to do, as long as it's in line with the governing parties. It's perfectly fine to do that, but it's something completely different to go to a foreign country and act as a politician, as a senior diplomat, when you're not that. Here comes somebody's noisy kids. Some Indians coming over here with their noisy kids running through the flowers. Yeah. He's taking a picture of him there. Anyway, so that's a little I don't know if you can hear that, but I can hear it. Welcome to 309 people who tuned in for this no announcements. Sorry, I got a little curly Q on top of my head there. It's just disturbing. It won't go down. This no announcement, short notice broadcast. I found a quiet space. And when you can find a quiet space and parking in the UK where you're not going to get a ticket because they have bizarre parking rules, you can park here for 5 seconds or 2 minutes, or you have to have this code, you have to have that code, you have to park on the curb, you have to park on the street, you can park here, you can't park there. If you can find a safe place to park and a quiet spot to sit down, which I found until the Indians showed up, and now it's quite loud, then this is what you do. You find a place and you sit down and you take advantage of it. Only child is in Hempstead. I don't know that. Turning 21. Well, congratulations on that. 21. Wow. So legal age to drink in America, but that's already 7 years older than legal age to drink in the UK. You let kids drink booze here. Anyway, yeah, the UK does have strange rules for everything. And it's basically, I came to England and I didn't come to see the English. I came to watch rugby. It's a good thing I didn't come to see the English because I'd be very frustrated. There seemed to be no English. Pakistanis, Indians, Africans. I don't see Caribbeans. I don't see many English at all. They're outnumbered. Everywhere I go, I see fewer English than I see anything else. Doesn't matter what town I go to. Completely. Used to be, go to rural areas and you'd see more English. You'd see very few of these imports, but country is full of imports. How's the view? The view here is lovely. I'm at a botanical gardens. So here you go. There's the view I have right now, in case you're curious. It's quite a lovely view. Yeah, it's quite a lovely view if you're curious about the view. That's a nice view. So, there's all the English are disappearing. Somebody phoned the embassy. Why did you phone the embassy? Why would you phone the embassy? Why would you phone the embassy? So I've been reading some of the comments, and thank you for those. I didn't post that video, but I did see a couple people watch my live after the fact, and one guy said I was whining. This is funny coming from people who are whining about my news coverage and whining about my commentary, then posting comments accusing me of whining because I'm calling out haters. Calling out a hater is not whining, and challenging me is okay. In fact, for those who OG's been with the channel since the very beginning, I did. Oh, here's a squirrel. Hey, buddy, how you doing? I got a squirrel about 3 meters from me. He's hopping around looking to see if I got a nut. Let me see if I can show him to you. There he is. Look at him. He's looking for something. Look at him slipping around there. So you weren't banking on that? Where are you getting to see wildlife here? I have a love affair with England. Well, you can have a love affair with England. It's overpopulated. It's overly dense. It's too confusing. No, I didn't get a haircut. No, I just haven't brushed my hair today. I forgot to brush it when I came out. Yeah, that's all they do. Haters whine like crybabies, and then they accuse you of whining. Calling out haters and calling out people who are just trolls is not whining. It's being blatantly obvious. That's what it is, and so that's what I did. It's fortunate it's not in South Africa. Why would it be eaten? Well, I appreciate missing my live streams, Charles, but here we are. And I'll try to do as many as I can. But as I promised, I wouldn't be able to do nearly as many. I'm certainly, my night owls, I'm not going to be up No way at 4 o'clock in the morning, because here in the UK, I would have to be up at 4 o'clock in the morning to deliver that program at 5 o'clock for South Africans. That just ain't going to happen. I'm sorry, I love my audience, but not that much, guys. I'm not getting up at 3 o'clock to review the news, to broadcast. Yeah. One thing I have discovered here, as I left London and drove north to head up this direction, because this is where most of the games are played, in the middle of the country, and the first game's way up northeast in Sutherland, so I had to make some distance to get away from London. As I left, I discovered that not only are highway rest stops a ripoff, but they're just a felony. Okay, the Indians aren't leaving. They're sitting here taking pictures of themselves sitting by the flowers. Anyway, but they're being quieter now. So I stopped at the rest stop, and this was about 40 miles north of London, and I went in to get some food. The sandwiches are like £3 something, £4 something. It wasn't too bad. You know, that's what you expect to pay for a sandwich when you go into a rest stop. They're not cheap. They got to pay a lot for that location. Plus there's taxes. You know, the VAT tax is out of control here. So you got to consider all that. That's okay. And in the end, I didn't like the sandwiches. They didn't really have what I was looking for, so I decided to go to the Burger King. I went to order Burger King, and then you can't talk to a person. You're not allowed to talk to a person. You got to go to a machine, touch it with everybody else's finger. You know, hepatitis-laden fingers touching. Everything's disgusting. You know, you guys don't think about that, do you? You know how many fingers and nasty people had their hands in their pants and pick boogers out of their nose and passed around disease, and you wonder why people get sick. You got to touch that screen. It's disgusting. Anyway, so here I am touching the screen gently, and I tried to order just a plain hamburger. I was going to get 2 or 3 hamburgers, eat them on the road, and a Coke. Hamburger, £4.49. That's $6 for hamburger. And you know what I said? My fuck Marlays. My fuck Marlays. That's what I said. $6 for frickin' hamburger? I'm sorry. For Burger King hamburger on the side of the road? No, 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 no. Papa ain't going to play that game. So I went back and I got, yeah, that's what I said. Good Lord. Yeah, $6 for a hamburger. I mean, it's bad enough we pay $2.19 for a hamburger in America now to McDonald's, but I'm not paying Burger King $6 for a hamburger. That's insane. HIP is okay. It's been problematic now and then, but it's not going to go away. I haven't started taking the anti-inflammatories yet. I'll probably do that tomorrow morning after I'm on a normal sleep cycle here. My sleep isn't messed up because of the flight. My sleep is messed up because my sleep was messed up for recently. So yeah, $6 for a hamburger. And you're right, my fuck Marlays would be justified by seeing that. There's no way. I did have a lovely conversation with a gentleman, middle income kind of guy, maybe lower income guy. He came over because I couldn't get the damn machine to work. I kept pushing burger and it would go back to the main screen. And his daughter came over and said, "Sir, you have to push this one down here. There are 3 little grayed out areas." I'm like, well, they shouldn't be grayed out if there are options. So I pushed on it. I didn't want the meal. I just wanted the burger. $4.49. I said, "I'm not paying that." He goes, "Yeah, I know how you feel. I got something, just sandwiches for my kids. It's 26 quid. Like 26 quid. Dude, that's $40 to go to Burger King just to stop. And this is why, you know, back in the day when I first started traveling, I had very little money and I was a private in the Army. I would get a cooler and buy lunch meat and Brötchen in Germany and put the drinks in there. And then that's what my meals would come from, except for maybe dinner. I might buy dinner in a restaurant, but I wouldn't eat breakfast or lunch unless the hotel had breakfast, which Germans tend to have. But my lunch was always from the cooler. No way I'm buying something on the road back then when stuff only cost a couple marks. Now the stuff costs, $6 for a hamburger. That would have been $18 for 3 hamburgers, plus the Coke would have been another $4. Would have been $20-some for one person to stop at McDonald's. Excuse me. And I'm just going to give all that stuff back to the can in a couple hours. No way. No way. So I got a couple sandwiches and I ate those instead. And one thing I have to say about England, I've always, I always loved England. I loved UK. Although it's not the UK anymore. It's now the land of immigrants, aliens who've overrun the place, and the culture's disappearing left and right. But what I can say about the place is that I never found a decent bag of crisp in this country. Their chips are disgusting. So I bought a different brand that I never had before. Oh my gosh, I ate it. It was supposed to be some sort of paprika or chutney flavor. It was disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Why are these people hanging around here? Can't you find some? You're right at the entrance to the park. It's the size of several hectares here. Can you not wander around and make your noise elsewhere? They got to stand within 30 feet of me and make noise. Anyway, sorry, distracted. Yeah, so the crisp here are terrible. They're absolutely terrible. They always have been. They're not much better in South Africa, by the way, folks. Sorry, but your chips suck. Until you got those Lay's barbecue ones, it was terrible. Anyway, yeah, so also I found in a co-op today, I stopped, I got a Starbucks, the little bottle ones. Now, the ones in South Africa are okay. The ones in America are fantastic. The ones in England, oh my God, it tastes like shite. I left it in the car. It's in the car. I was going to bring it here and drink so I could stay, hydrated. But it was terrible. Oh, it was terrible. I won't be buying another one of those. That was just disgusting. I don't know where they're making out. Yeah, bangers and mash is also something I like. Yeah, not my cup of tea. Not my cup of tea. Anyway, so yeah. So, excuse me. So back to the general. The general is just running his mouth abroad, and he is got himself in deep water. It's very confusing as to what's going on here, because Ramaphosa really hasn't spoke up. He's allowed Vincent Mangwenya to speak for him, and I don't know what's going to happen. But here's the thing: Angie Mocheka is clearly clueless. Regardless of whether he went to Iran, if he went to America and said the same things about another country, he would have been wrong. If he went to the UK and said the same things about it, he is wrong. If he went to Botswana and said those things about another country, he's wrong. That is not in the portfolio of a general officer. General officers are not to speak on foreign policy unless directed to do so. And then they have to indicate they were told to do it. You do not have the authority to run there and say the things that he said. This is unbelievable. The fact that 30%, Minister 30%, we're going to start calling him Minister 5%. Minister 5% actually says that he did what he did is okay. It shows that she's incompetent and she should be relieved. Angie Mocheka and the Minister Mapanyana should be relieved over this episode, both of them. Bantu Holomisa should be elevated to be the Minister of Defense. Case closed, end of discussion. This is, you shouldn't put such an incompetent person in charge of defense. It's not healthy. Yeah, well, that would have happened today. And we've seen, and I mentioned in my video too, I mean, you know, it's not just South Africa. I mean, any general, any military that does that is wrong, unless you're the military governor of a place, you know, under martial law or in a conflict, but that's different. He went on a diplomatic visit to Iran to talk about security cooperation, and he dissed the United States, and he promoted terrorism, and that's highly inappropriate. This guy is a joke. He's an absolute joke, and he should be removed. I don't know how he's not removed. We've had American generals removed for far less egregious things. I remember Soesterberg Air Base in 1992, I think it was, an Air Force two-star general at a private function, a dining in, which only people in uniform are at, said some comments about Bill Clinton being inappropriate about him being president. He was relieved and forced to retire. That was the end of that. It doesn't matter whether the minister approved the visit or not. In fact, it makes it worse if the minister approved the visit and he went there and he spoke in that fashion. What that means is that they're guilty. Who did Alex Hogue talk to? Who did he interview? Renee, when Alex Hogue used artificial intelligence to promote nonsense about America, that was the end of my interest. I haven't watched Biz News since that. I've been able to stomach Biz News since they turned to artificial intelligence and used Google to make a news broadcast. That sort of turned my stomach, and it was just horrible too. It was in an accident last week, almost lost my eye. Oh my God, who was that? Happy Slappy, good Lord. I'm so sorry to hear that. I'm glad you didn't lose your eye. I hope you're recovering. Older cider's bet. What are you talking about, cider? Tribute to you from the YouTube channel Bookworm, and it wasn't all. Everybody here should watch it. Wow. Bookworm is the name. Wow, okay. Thank you for that, Barbie. Bookworm, a tribute to me. Wow, I didn't expect that. It's very kind. Yeah, guys, for every hater, there are 10,000 people who love the content, who love the channel, and I'm very grateful for that. I really appreciate that. You know, I don't have my reading glasses on, but I might want to put them on because somehow, well, if you heard anything, our counties apparently they actually help. I'm going to put the reading glasses on because the chat's going by so fast. I don't have my laptop here. I can't slide back and forth, and I have to adjust. It takes a split second to adjust. Okay, now I can see straight on. What was not AI, Renee? No. The thing that I saw on Biz News was AI, and Alex Hogg apologized for it. But I mean, I haven't been back since then. You know, that just really pissed me off. I mean, that was just so lame. I appreciate the desire to try AI. I mean, I've tried it with something that's harmless with music, but to use it to analyze the news, no. Glad to catch you. Everyone that's here, 513. Once again, I'm coming to you live from the United Kingdom. No call yet, no email. Ian Cameron, 2 other DA members got hijacked and Phil. Oh my goodness. Ian Cameron got hijacked? My goodness, I didn't hear that. My goodness. I'll have to write to him. My goodness. That'd be something else. My goodness, I didn't hear about that. Bot went rogue. Yeah, the bot did go rogue. Okay, so once again, for those who don't know, I'm sitting in merry old England in a botanical garden, and that's my view. Pre-hearing meetings arranged for inquiry into TRC cases. Okay. People are getting called left and right. Yes, they are, Verna. I've got so many messages from people telling me they've been called. They've got the email. They have an interview. No, I've heard nothing on the visas for Kenyans. I doubt they're going to get them unless they don't want to piss the... America gets off, they might find a way to bend. But as I said, the answer is simply employ them by a South African company that's hired, and they'll be subcontractors. Very simple. Tax you spray with pepper spray. Who sprayed her with pepper spray, Ruben? That's not a common thing by the criminals. Hijacking sounds like it was a message being sent. Probably was a message being sent. How long after? What's this guy? Bless, the chat's coming fast. There is no time frame, Xander and Nienaber. There's no time frame. Okay, in Cameron Cox escape attempt to visiting the Peace Academy, and that happened. William Sanderson Meyer. I don't know who that is. Okay, thank you. Okay, Napoleon, relax. Okay. All right. So I wish I could get called. My patience is at 10,000%. No, I'm not in South Africa, Mad Max. Lots of people. Okay, guys, when you're saying you've got called, you applied on the same day, you do realize that we don't know the true number. That's the thing that's irritating here, is that we don't know the true number. We do know that Marco Rubio testified in committee after this thing got going, about 10 days after the 12th, around the 22nd or 24th of May, he testified in committee that 70,000 people had sent in statements of interest. That was then. So I can only imagine that may have gone in since then. So it's going to be obvious a lot of people haven't been called. And some people who put their statements in after that have been called. I don't know the methodology or why that happened or how that's happening. I can't even begin to explain it. But we got people running around making all kinds of claims. Oh, they're doing it at random. You don't know that. You can say, I believe they're doing it at random, but you can't claim that. That's what I said. I've given up on everything I've done. Chris, I don't want to hear you giving up on everything. Hang in there. Hang in there. Good to see you here, Chris. I searched that pilot crashed in the sea. The sea is very dirty. They work under tough conditions. They can't find his body still. I mean, it was close to shore. That's insane. That's insane. Erica says the South African government denied visas to the Kenyans. I haven't seen that news, but it wouldn't surprise me. Arctic says the embassy is slow as Alpha Foxtrot, waiting days for visa renewals. They've always been slow. My services on my company, Americanus Naval Kenyans, to become employed. Okay, Diane, that's kind of you. I've been emailed or called, and I was one of the first in the PRM email and statement of interest. Can only wait now, Paul. Okay, hang in there. Yeah, I got that. Ramaphosa signed this proclamation allowing the political parties to get over it. Yeah, this is just how you pass a law giving the president that this is very anti-democratic. South Africa's parliament passed a law which gave the sorry, these are disturbing me looking at that. So the colonel out of town. This world would be a great opportunity to pull up tents. The colonel, you don't know where I live. Good luck with that. Yeah, Chris, don't give up. Is there any bored tinies going to play rugby? There's 2 or 3 white girls on the South African team. Not many. It's a mostly non-white team, and they suck. But hopefully they'll do well. The Americans used to be much better themselves. They're not so great these days. Okay. All right. Received a call, but not hear anything since then. Okay. Well, I used to take 3 days for a passport. Yeah. Well, that's before 1 million people applied to leave the country. Where are you in England? In the Midlands, Guy or Gary? Excuse me. It's going to say same. Tomorrow I'll be in the Lake District, up near Windermere. Okay, but this isn't about refugee stuff, guys. Not the refugee stuff. Anyway, yeah. So I did. Let me see. I've got my phone charging here on a power bank because it was out of power. 74%. I think it's safe to take it off for a little bit and look at it here. So yeah, a couple of the news items here. I already covered the rugby. I've talked about the general a little bit here, but here's the ANC lost a bid up in is it Vredendal? Is that where they had an illicit bid? Yeah, Vredendal in the Western Cape. The ANC, the PA, the EFF, and the Good for Nothing Party tried to illegally take over the municipality after a vote of no confidence against the DA government. The DA has 6 seats, the Freedom for Plus 1, so that's 7. There's 15 in the council. They needed 1 more vote. I'm going to guess they must have had either Good or the Patriotic Alliance part of that coalition initially. I don't recall which it was. But the bottom line is the other parties all ganged up to have 8 seats. They voted them out, but they did it in legal fashion. The judge determined so back in June, and they went and appealed it. So the Western Cape ANC has failed to overturn a court ruling that labeled their actions in Matsikama local municipality as unlawful power grab. Western Cape High Court dismissed the ANC's appeal application on Monday. It comes after a council meeting in May during several violent motions of no confidence. Several motions, not violent, were passed against DA leaders. On Monday, the High Court dismissed the ANC's application. In his ruling, Judge Andre Lagrange said, I have carefully considered the notice of application to leave to appeal and the grounds of appeal listed therein, where the respondents contend that another court will come to a different conclusion. Having heard the parties and having regard to the papers filed, I have not been persuaded that the respondents have shown grounds that a prospect of success on appeal that another court would come to a different conclusion on the facts and the law in this instance. For all these reasons, it follows that the application for leave to appeal cannot succeed. The ANC argued against his decision back in June, but then lost. So it's interesting because the DA member said the following. Thomas Walters, the DA's constituency head for that area, said the judgment was welcome and it prevents state capture. It is no coincidence that this happened precisely when the municipality received a clear audit for the first time in years under the DA's leadership, and precisely when it became clear that the DA was going to launch investigations into suspicious conduct in the past. Yeah, anyway, so there you go. That's the bottom line with that, folks. So, once again, I'll make the statement, excuse me, quite clear, make the statement that South Africa doesn't have a genuine democracy, genuine representative republic, because you don't have parliamentary governments at municipal level. That's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. You cannot function with a parliamentary system at the municipal level. You have to be able to vote for people and they stay in office unless they're convicted of a crime or something like that, or impeached or something like that. But you cannot simply have people change affiliation to be given benefits for their personal gain, and then a government's overturned, like we saw in Nelson Mandela Bay when Athol Trollip was the mayor and thrown out of office because EFF changed sides. We cannot see this happen like we saw in Tshwane, the actions of Action SA betraying people in Johannesburg, and we see it all over the country. It's absolutely ridiculous. And in fact, we saw a situation in Kanaland where Jeffrey Donson, a convicted child rapist who was convicted of raping a child when he was mayor the first time, becomes the mayor again because of this stupidity. You cannot have this stupidity going on. It's absolutely ridiculous. And it's until South Africa reforms this municipal system of a parliamentary system at the city level, you are not going to have a real country. I didn't say anything about Trump and Ukraine. What happened with Trump and Ukraine? I haven't seen that. It's Trump and Ukraine. The problem here in the UK is they don't care about U.S. news. So when I go to Google, I can't load it. I can't get it. I try to get Google News. It won't load. See, I have 2G on this connection, so I'm trying to connect to it now. Let me hold it up high on this phone. Maybe I'll get a signal now. Okay, it's going now. I wouldn't do it earlier. Okay, I want the news, not the, what is this? I want the news, you turds. Google. I tell you what, sometimes being on the road can be a real pain. Okay, it's not working for Beans. What happened with Trump and Ukraine? I've heard nothing of Trump and Ukraine. They were going to meet, obviously. I'll just put Trump, Ukraine in here, and then I'll see if we can't get the... Trump is not Yump, it's Trump. TR. Well, apparently, because I'm near the front entrance, I found the place that everybody wants to hang out. Okay, why is this not working? There we go. Okay. Everybody wants to take pictures. They're all here taking pictures of the gardens. Here, look, here you go. Hey, look, everybody's got to get a picture of the pretty flowers. These aren't really pretty flowers in the park. Trump rules out sending U.S. troops. Well, of course he rules out sending U.S. troops. What idiot would send U.S. troops other than Biden to the Ukraine? That's just dumb as a box of rocks. Why would we do that? Ukraine, okay. Warrants Putin of tough, rough actions. Well, somebody needs to do something in this conflict. Joe Biden's war is still going very strong. It hasn't slowed down at all. But Biden got exactly what he wanted, a place to sell weapons and ammunition. Trump rules out sending his troops to Ukraine. Well, of course, we're not going to send troops to Ukraine. That's a dumb idea. Donald Trump has ruled out deploying American troops in Ukraine, his first interview since his meeting with Volodymyr Zelensky. Okay, and it won't load more. Show more. There we go. Okay. You have my assurances, and I'm President Trump told Fox News talk show, Fox and Friends. That's the morning show. The President reiterated that Ukraine would not be admitted into NATO under his watch. Good. They shouldn't be in NATO. We have no business bringing them in. Kiev would still receive security guarantees. Well, the problem is that we gave the Ukraine security guarantees back in the 1990s. The Russian Federation and the United States both guaranteed Ukraine's independence so that the nuclear weapons could be pulled out of Ukraine. And Ukraine gave up its nuclear weapons on the assurance that both would respect its sovereignty and defend it. Neither of whom did. Russia invaded Ukraine. The United States did not protect Ukraine in any fashion. In fact, things were made worse by Joe Biden. So, yeah, so that agreement went for naught. No, Article 5 securities anime. No, they're not part of NATO. It's good orderly. Basically, Zelensky was no option but to cave in. Yeah. Okay. 3G is on the way out, 4G is in, and 5G exists in most cities. Well, Keith, I'm only getting 2G. They only give me 256K. So they intentionally throttle my connection. Maybe you probably don't see Americans here very often. Yeah, it's become pretty nasty here. What am I missing here? I'm going through the chat here, folks. It's no longer 2G as far as I know. Keith, yeah, there is no 2G transmissions, but you can throttle a person's access to the network. You can do that very easily, and that's what they've done to me. They've throttled me. 256 is all I get for free. Hey, Karen. You see the U.S. dusting? Yeah, about Iraq, Iran, Afghanistan. I know about Iran. That's old news, Matt. But Afghanistan, that's news. Okay, so council magistrates are taking around posts at court for not getting reviews of salaries a couple of years. Huh. Bonus on Windermere. Okay, I'll see if I can check that out. Interview with the Mayor Connors was very professional, very similar to everything we've heard about the Canadians. Okay, well, thanks for sharing that. Wow, what happened there? It just jumped on me. I was reading that. In camera kidnapped. Got that. Okay, all right. So I'm falling behind the chat here, folks. A lot of chat. Oops, somebody gave a super chat. Sorry, I missed that. Mad Max says, "Do you see the U.S. Department just investigating MTN about?" No, I didn't. Thank you for 35 Rand, Mad Max. I did not. I know about Iran, but not about Afghanistan. It was been a rumor for some time. I couldn't confirm it for a long time, so I didn't really spend a lot of time on it. Okay. No, Maze, Maz, the deal is, no, it's nothing nefarious. My service provider, America, I get free 2G connections in about 30 countries abroad, including the United Kingdom and South Africa. So that's why when I'm in South Africa, I have to be near Wi-Fi to broadcast most of the time, or I have to put it in my phone. So this is my second phone that I'm broadcasting here. So my main phone, my S21, which I've had for 4 years, is still a great phone, is sitting here on a power bank charging, and that's the one that has 2G connection. 256 kilobyte. That's not a 5G. That's not a 5G connection. That's all I get max. It's what I get in South Africa too. So that's not strong enough to broadcast with. So unless I have Wi-Fi, that has a better camera, better sound. So unless I have Wi-Fi, I don't use that phone. While I'm sitting here in a park, I don't have Wi-Fi. So I bought a SIM card here in South Africa at the airport for 45 pounds, $60 for a month. And I've got 200 gigabytes of data, and I got better coverage. So anyway, so that's why I'm using this phone. To broadcast. If I'm in a place where I can use the other phone, I'll use the other phone because it's better quality. I'll use my laptop to read your text and also to scan the news, okay? But I'll be broadcasting off of my phone for my lives regardless, either that one or this one. If I have Wi-Fi and it's good enough connection, I'll use the other one because it's a better phone, better quality. But that's a given when I travel. That's how I do it because I need to be able to look at the news, be able to see the chat, and I set my laptop on the side. But that's not going to happen sitting here in a park. It just ain't going to happen sitting in a park, okay? Yeah, so the other thing here that people are talking about is Ramaphosa has doubled the amount of money that you can donate to a political party before you have to report it. Now, this is a serious problem. What kind of legislature passed a law that lets the president decide at his discretion how much a political party can be given without reporting it? This is just dirty politics. Dirty, dirty politics. Their name on the U.S. Assembly website stating they're working with them, help reduce they're not. What? What's this? What? Napoleon, yeah, that's a fair assumption, but it's not an accurate assumption, potentially. So, anyway, let me just see something here very quickly here. Let me find this. So, got my power bank, got my phone, get back to, where was that? Use 24 IOL, I think it was IOL. So that's going to be on web browser. Okay, web browser. Okay. There it is. Ramaphosa approves 30 million annual donation cap for political parties. There you go. Saw an email from Rob Hutchinson, DRSA. They're asking for public comment. Oh, okay. Well, I don't know what role he has. He's not with DRSA, so it must be the other one. Thank you, Road Captain Kev. Pleasure to be back. President Ramaphosa has officially approved significant changes to South Africa's political funding regulations, doubling the annual cap on private donations and the threshold for disclosure from 15 million rand to 30 million. According to proclamation published in the Government Gazette on August 6th, Ramaphosa raised the maximum annual contribution a single individual or entity may donate to a political party. Concurrently, the threshold below which donations are required to be disclosed has been increased from 100,000 to 200,000 rand. These revisions follow a resolution passed by the Assembly on the 20th of May, acting on recommendations from Parliament's Portfolio Committee. Ramaphosa exercised authority granted under the political funding Political Party Funding Act, which grants President final discretion over such thresholds. Civil organization, society organization, My Vote Counts, expressed deep concern over the changes, as am I expressing deep concern. This will lead to incredible corruption and buying of politicians, as if it hasn't happened already. The organization contends that this adjustment weakens transparency, potentially invites undue influence over political parties. It does exactly that. Raising the ceiling means political parties can now accept 200,000 Rand without disclosure, and a donor can funnel 30 million annually to each party of their choice. Wow. Unbelievable. This is frightening stuff, folks, that they get away with this. I mean, that's not right. By the way, anybody see that Terrence Stamp died, the actor? 87 years of age, English actor. Terrence Stamp, 87. Rose to fame back in the early 1960s, an actor, and now he's 87, he passed away. I got people sending me unsolicited text messages. Ramaphosa is going to Japan. What's he going to Japan for? He needs to go to Taiwan and stop the Taiwanese from boycotting, sending chips to South Africa. That disclosure should limit to 50,000 tops. I agree. I don't disagree with that at all. I think that, political contributions should be a matter of public record. If people are willing to back a candidate, then it should be known. There should be no clandestine stuff here. Why would you hide who you're supporting? Viewer in the chat said Americaners called and interviewed him. Yeah. Now, that more than one person has said that. I've also been in touch with Sam Busa, and I mentioned that in the video. So they say they're doing it. No, it's not weird that they're bringing additional help. U.S. Customs and Immigration Services are overwhelmed. The Refugee Assistance Program is swamped, and so they need more help. They've also, as I've said repeatedly, folks, the office that handles this sort of thing in the State Department, the bureau that's responsible for this, they let off 89 people they sacked from work just a few weeks ago after the court ruled in Trump's favor. And since January, since President Trump's become president, 3,000 people have left the State Department. And I don't know how many beyond that 89 were from the folks that handle refugees, but 89 in the bureau that handles the PRM. 89 people. That's a huge loss of human capital. That's a huge loss of labor, and that requires an adjustment. So they're making adjustments. No, the dialogue is not going well for the ANC. It's a vote buying scheme, yep, and that's gone poorly too. I understand. I didn't see it. I did see one person speaking, public person, but apparently members of the public, when they spoke, they were cutting their microphones off. They didn't want to hear what they had to say. Yeah, this is. They thought that this direction would work, but it's backfired in a major way. Another major embarrassment. What is Cyril Ramaphosa? Okay, first off, folks, let's. Okay, let me ask you this question. I can't do a poll because I don't know how to do the poll on the mobile. Doesn't really seem to work that way. I don't have an option here, but let me ask you this question. What has Cyril Ramaphosa accomplished as president? Cutting mics, yeah, what's that? Not paying people, they said they would, yeah. So, President Ramaphosa has been president since early 2018. 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Over 7 years he's been president. What has he accomplished? Has he increased the gross domestic product? No. Has he created jobs? No. Has he lowered taxes? No. Has he improved the infrastructure? No. Has he improved South Africa's standing in the world? No. Has he addressed youth unemployment? No. Has he addressed property rights? No. He's abrogated property rights. Cyril Ramaphosa has accomplished something. You know what he's accomplished, folks? And I'll say it in Afrikaans. Fuck all. He's accomplished, there it is, happy slappy, fuck all. How this guy remains president, he has accomplished nothing but destroy South Africa. How the ANC can stick with him, I don't understand it. They dumped Thabo Mbeki, they dumped Jacob Zuma. Why can they not dump Cyril Ramaphosa? He has broken the country. Yep, he has been the embodiment of everything that is wrong with South Africa. He lives in a bubble surrounded by money. Exactly. The most telling point for me about how incompetent and how inept he was is when the insurrection that I predicted on June 29th of 2023, is it now? Gosh, it's been so long ago, I'm forgetting now. 2023, wasn't it, when the insurrection took place? When that happened, excuse me, I predicted on June 29th there would be chaos in KwaZulu-Natal. The police had better be prepared. They better have water cannons. They better be drilled. They better have bullets, rubber bullets. They better have restraints, and they better be prepared to take people away in paddy wagons because there's going to be an insurrection. There's going to be chaos in KZN. Not only did they not predict it, but for 4 days he ignored it. For 4 days, he would go on the TV every day and say, "Make sure you wear your mask. You must wear a mask." Remember that? He ignored the insurrection for 4 days. Not one public comment about Cyril Ramaphosa as KwaZulu-Natal burned down and people were killed, as people had to band together and defend their neighborhoods. Indians, whites, and coloreds and blacks defending their neighborhoods against thugs and mobs, as Pick and Pays and Macro and game stores were looted and plundered and burned to the ground in KwaZulu-Natal and also in Soweto. He did nothing. Then, days later, he gets in a BMW 8 Series luxury sedan armored vehicle and a dozen-car convoy, pulls up at a burnt-out shopping center, goes in wearing a $10,000 suit, picks up a spade, and shovels 2 shovels loads of what was someone's life and dreams, their former business, into a wheelie bin, and cackles in front of the cameras. That alone should have got him fired. How this man remains president is only because you have a corrupt political system that does not allow you to get rid of idiots like this. This man is more incompetent than any president in any country in living history. I mean, look, how people fell for this nonsense that he is a great businessman. I've said it for me, he's not a businessman. He was handed his equity, and he's done nothing with it except live off of it like a fat hog. He's never increased it. He hasn't created jobs. He hasn't built businesses. He hasn't taken the hundreds of millions of dollars that were handed to him and done anything. He hasn't done anything with it, not a damn thing. You give me $300 million in equity in 1994, and I'm a multi-billionaire today. I guarantee it. I could have put it in the bank and made money off the interest alone and still doubled the money by then. But he hasn't gotten any more money because he's just a leech. He's just stealing and stealing and stealing. Yeah, well, he's not stealing money, but he is breaking the law. And what about Pala Pala? And how many other instances of Pala Pala that we don't even know about? We only know about that one because the police VIP unit kidnapped. That is a weird-looking bird. I guess it's a pigeon. Yeah, it's a pigeon, but it looked like a duck flying by. Got a big head on it. We only know about Pala Pala because they abducted the thieves from Namibia, and it got exposed. Otherwise, we would have known about that. And also because the former person on the inside let the word out. But the guy has accomplished nothing. Nothing. Who is his masters? Elaine, who is the master? Who is he working for? Enjoy your stay in England, running out of data. Sorry to hear that. Okay, sorry to hear you're running out of data. Ask what you can do for South Africa. Ask what South Africa can do for you, yeah. Logged in at the right time. Colonel exploded my YouTube. How did I explode your YouTube? Yeah. Yeah, now we only know about Pala Pala, and that's the thing that bothers me, is that how many other times has Cyril Ramaphosa had money secreted into the country illegally that we don't even know about? How much money has come in and been given to Cyril Ramaphosa we don't know about? How much money came from Iran? Do we know? What military planes brought that in? What commercial flights brought bags of money in? We don't know. We don't know. We don't know. It raises questions. And the fact that Pala Pala has been a cover-up, and Pala Pala is a cover-up, and shame on the political parties, all of them, Freedom for Plus, the DA, ACDP, all of the media, for letting Pala Pala die. Pala Pala is not a dead story, folks. It's not a dead story. Let's run through what happened. Parliament, a corrupt parliament controlled by the ANC in the previous parliament, determined that President Ramaphosa not violated ethics standards of parliament. Never mind the fact that that's implausible, but let's accept that. It really doesn't matter. It's not germane. Because what happened to Pala Pala is a crime. It's a felony. It's a customs violation. It's a currency violation. It's perjury. It's a perversion of the means of justice, misuse of the police. Also, there's a fraudulent police report from the SAPs. They must do an annual report, and I read the annual report. They must do an annual report that's publicly disclosed that talks about the number of criminal incidents or break-ins and invasions that happen on VIP protected properties, which includes Pala Pala. Not one instance. They said there were no cases. But of course, in that time frame, the money was stolen from the sofas of Pala Pala. So we have crimes left, right, and center with Pala Pala. But we have no criminal charges, no prosecution, no upholding of the law. Where are the opposition parties? Where is the media? That's the role of the media, folks. The role of the media is to expose corruption, to hold governments accountable to the population. And they're not doing that. They're not doing that. Why are they allowing Pala Pala to die on the sidelines while Cyril Ramaphosa runs out the clock and pretends he's a great statesman? He's not a great statesman. He's an empty vessel, yep. Yeah, well, let's get Ramaphosa in the White House, yeah. And then, how is South Africa not embarrassed by Ramaphosa sitting in the White House watching the video of the Witkreuze crisis at Normandy after those folks were murdered. Glenn and Vida were murdered. And of course, we had Brendan Horner murdered. How in the world does he watch that video and goes, Mr. President, have they told you where this is? I've never seen this. Are you serious? There was a banner that ran from one side of the road to the other at the end telling Ramaphosa to stop farm murders. He saw it. He was aware of it. But my goodness, for Ramaphosa to make that claim that he didn't know, that he told President Trump, I don't know where this is. Have you seen it? Where they tell you where it's at? And Trump was great. He says, it's in South Africa. The only thing that he didn't say is, what he should have said is, it's in South Africa, dumbass. That's the only thing he didn't say. Trump should have said, it's in South Africa, dumbass. He didn't say that. Unbelievable. Arthur Mumson says, don't worry. Okay, Arthur, I wasn't worried, but I'm glad you're here. Not cover the UK government. Hendo, go bail out the colonel. Can you give Starmer a solid PK? Well, the problem with that, Liv, is I'll go to jail. You can't criticize the government in this country. You can't criticize the government in this country. You can't stand on a street corner carrying the Union Jack either. You can't do that. You can't do that. You can't do that. Free speech is dead here. But I'm not talking about the United Kingdom. So for the moment, I'm safe. No police yet. I am keeping an eye out. Problem is I can't run very fast because of the hip. So I have to be clever about where I'm at. Oh, there are plenty of woke idiots here. I remember going to a Starbucks a couple years back when I was in the UK, and I ordered a drink, and someone was talking about what I did, and I said, no, I do broadcasting, I do this and that and the other. And the girl, who's obviously a Palestinian cause lover, there was someone who was a convicted terrorist, and the lady said something. I said, oh, what is this? Someone said to me something, and I said, like, I'm that person, and it was an Arab, and she got all pissy, and I wasn't even talking to her. She was not even part of the conversation, and there was no one in the shop, and then she just jumps in and starts being insulting and rude and tempturizing, and then the other person asked me questions, just kind of sulked away, and I'm like, whatever. First off, I'm a customer here. Shut your cake hole. Wasn't talking to you. You weren't part of the conversation. I didn't give any racial or ethnic slurs or slights. I simply said that people call me that. I forget what it was. It's not important, but it pissed her off because the person I was talking about was an Arab, and someone called me the such and such Arab because of something I said, and then she got all bent in shape at me, and I just wanted to pimp slap the person. It's woke tards. This country's full of woke tards. It is absolutely full of woke tards. And they're so politically correct and so wrong about so many things, it's beyond comprehension. Anyway, so you got to be careful of these simps. They're all over the place. Got to be really careful. There's a country with a lot of wonderful people, but an awful lot of simpletons. How this country conquered the world is beyond comprehension given the current state it's in. And that's probably about as safe as I can go with my commentary on the UK, so we'll leave it there. Wow, we got $4 in super chats. I guess that one super chat was all that came in, or two that came in. And 519 likes. Thank you for that. But once again, folks, live broadcast from the Midlands in the United Kingdom. I'm here at the Botanical Gardens, and here's my view. Check that out. Isn't that lovely? Isn't that absolutely lovely? Now, I'd show you that, but you'd get bored pretty quickly without my beautiful face on screen. Well, apparently, a lot of pigeons. These are big pigeons, too. They must have a lot to eat. And these pigeons are the size of little ducks. Can't stand pigeons. They're disgusting. They're tree rats. Well, that's what squirrels are, tree rats. But at least squirrels are endearing. Anyway, back here. So here I am. Anyway, folks, so the political funding thing, the general still in the news, Ukraine and Trump. But we're not going to send troops there. I'd do that. It doesn't make any sense. Let me check on something on my phone. The charge here, up to about 90%. That's good enough. I'll take it off of there. Let me see something here real quick. I want to check on something. Okay, just checking on something, okay? So, why is the chat not coming up anymore? The last chat I got was from Arctic. I don't want top fans, I want everyone here. Why does it do top fans? The chat's no longer coming up, that's weird. Huh, Strange. Last chat I got was from Arctic. No, from Hendo. And then chat just stopped. Are y'all still here? You still chatting? Did everybody go quiet? I'm not getting any more chat. That's strange. Anyway, hard to respond to chat if I don't see it. Chat was coming in so fast a short while ago, it just kept lighting up the screen. Now I don't see anything. Oh, that's it. What's this? Live chat. There we go. Let's try that. Oh, there we go. Okay, you're here. Okay, I got it back. I got the chat back live. Yeah, you are chatting away. For some reason, it wasn't there. I've been missing a lot of chat. Was set on top chat. Oh my goodness. What's on my goodness? We're still okay. Got you guys. I got you. Yeah, see, I thought chat was blowing up. Okay. Getting prepared for my first video. You're going to do a video, Holden? What's your video going to be about? Cockpit train Cameron was kidnapped. Yeah, I heard about that. I'm going to have to check into that. Yeah, I'll send him a message when you chance. Oh, there's a squirrel climbing another squirrel climbing a tree over here. Got a big coniferous tree over here. It's kind of cool. Let me see how big this bad boy is. Check this out. Look at that thing. There's a massive coniferous tree right over there. Man, look at that thing. That's a big tree. Somebody behind me is digging with a shovel. What's going on there? There's a school behind me. A private school over the wall there. I can hear someone with a spade digging over there. Just Bry. I can't Bry here. Probably get around. Ooh, there's a green pigeon. I have not seen a green pigeon before. I mean, he's completely green. Check this bugger out. Oh, there's a super chat, 7 grand from Conrad. Thank you. Look at this bug. Look at him. He's coming over to me. Look at him. He's getting close. A green pigeon. Look at that. Pretty looking little bugger for a rat. Guess he's giving up. He sees a guy. He hasn't given up yet. He's still looking to see if I'm going to feed him. Buddy, I don't feed pigeons. He's sneaking up on me on the side here. He's trying to come right up on me. He's going. He goes this way, then he comes about a half a meter this way, then he comes back. He's just looking to see if I got food for him. It's a green pigeon, man. He saw my hand move. Now he's only about 2 meters away. He's right in front of my feet now. He's a meter away. I don't have anything, buddy. He's trying to hint. He's pecking a piece of grass, trying to get my attention. Like, you gonna feed me? He's like right on top of me, guys. Now he's going away. Finally gave up. There he goes. He gave up. Look at him walking away. I'm sorry, but there are no Sasagrants here. No Sasagrants here. Foot sec, pigeon. Foot sec. Oh, there's a super chat. What's that one for? My pastor is gone woke. What's that? He gone woke? They're making fun of refugees and otherwise preaching the status quo. Making fun of refugees, Sylvester, well, then they're shameful people. They're shameful people. And they're hateful. They're not Christians if they're making fun of refugees. So Regal must make a song about the squirrel in the UK. We already have Bob. Yeah, the frogs. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. Is a chunky pigeon. He's a large lard ass. Call me Dave. Look up Peter Hain, South African party activist, disappointed in how things turn out now, speaking out against corruption. I don't know Peter Hain. Government stupid. Mr. Kernevald launched bakeries within prison as part of saving taxpayers' money. I'm sure BE will be unhappy about that. For calling him a rat. New Zealand versus France, third place to go to Tonga or Italy. Are you talking about for the Women's World Cup? No, England will do well. I think they'll get to the semifinal at least. Yeah, that's a bad church. Pigeon pie. Ooh, gross. Katie Hopkins. I don't know Katie Hopkins. I know who she is, but she doesn't know me. DPP got paid with $3 million US to be ragdolled. Wow. Hey, Mohammed, what's going on, man? How you doing? 9% of the jails are black. How can the bakery not be BE compliant? Oh, because it's not owned by a caterer. That's how. See, BE is not for black people, it's for caters, folks. That's where your first mistake was. You thought that BE was meant to level the playing field so that black South Africans be lifted out of poverty, but it wasn't meant for that. BE is enrichment for the favored, for the connected. That's what it's all about, folks. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. Okay? So you have to understand that. That's what you have to understand. BE is not. It's not to level the playing field, to help the historically disadvantaged. BEE is about my friends and their family. It's friends and family only enrichment. That's what it's all about, folks. Oh, boy. Drikas made 61 million rand. There's no silence for him. He made a big payday. Home was burglared yesterday as I went to pharmacy. They stole your documents. Why would they steal your documents, Chris? Doesn't make any sense. Oh my goodness. Yeah, black elite enrichment. That's exactly what it is, Leon. Awe Borger, what's going on, man? What's going on, Avi? Avi Borger. And U.S. minion to be. Elmarie says, have you seen the man of color say it was something for white people and he's ready to make war for the white people? What man? What are you talking about? Who is that? What's your FLF game? Racist comments get tricky because he lost? Why are the racist comments? He lost. If he won, I would expect the racist comments. Yeah, South Africa is full of racist and really nasty people. But a lot of countries have a lot of racists, unfortunately. The good news is that most of the racists are politicians and social media activists. They're not real people. He was 3-1 odds, so he was going to win. So no chance. Dana doesn't want UFC to come to South Africa. They pity against the wrestler. Yep. You tagged me on a video on X. Okay, thank you, Lynette. President's national dialogue is now a boring monologue. Yep, talk shop. Yeah, exactly. Well, that's what it's going to be all along. We said that. Yeah, your identity equal identity theft. Yep. Pablo Charlie did not see any racist tweets, only banner. I haven't seen any tweets, Pablo Charlie, so I can't comment on it. Oh, here comes a squirrel now. He's coming over to me. Hey, buddy. How you doing there? Got a little squirrel coming to me now. What's up, buddy? Hey, stand back on your feet. That was cool. I'm going to go stand on his feet there. Look at him. He's on his hindquarters. Do you know why squirrels hide their nuts? They forget where 90% of them are. Do you know that? I think it's only 90%. Squirrels have very bad long-term memory. Watch yourself on belong, especially in London, UK is important. Yeah, no, I'm aware of that. I'm in a place that's safe, John Jarvis. Hey, John, how's it going? Thank you for 35 Rand super chat, too, for the advice in the morning. Yeah, I don't plan on being in London on this trip at all. Now, London has become a nightmare. My last time there wasn't that great. It's too expensive. It's a ripoff. It's unpleasant. If I wanted to walk down the street and see everybody dressed in a abaya, I would go to Riyadh, not to Oxford Street in London. Last time I went to the British Museum, there were almost no British in there. It wasn't tourist either. It was all the immigrants. Good to see them care about British history, but it's not a lot of British history in the British Museum. It's a lot of what they conquered from the world, and that's probably why people are there. All because Kamzat called him a real African lion. Well, he is. Also, the racist comments are becoming because they're claiming he's not African. Well, that's typical. Racists will do that. Oh, the pigeon sent the squirrel to see if I was holding out. Well, here comes another squirrel. He's heading over to the flowers now. And here's a white pigeon. Go away, racist. It's a racist pigeon here. He's white. That's funny. When you have the time, we'll be interesting to follow the money trail to the presenter of the National Dialogue. Yeah. Ronaldo did a video on a colonel that, okay, they're saying he spread rumors of fake genocide, so they're happy the racists lost. When did Drikas spread rumors of a genocide? I don't recall hearing that anywhere. Are they spreading rumors and lying about what Drikas said? I don't recall seeing that. Don't recall seeing that anywhere. Interesting. You guys aren't on camera. I'm broadcasting. Well, I can put you on camera if you want to be on camera. Here you go.
What are you broadcasting for?
Just do a news program to my audience all over the world. There you go. Say hi, guys.
Flowers.
Yeah, the flowers are lovely.
Very vibrant.
Cheers. All right, there you go. We got some video bombing going on there, folks. See, nice people, friendly people there. There you go. 600 likes. Chipmunks on Holiday. Yeah, we should do a song about the Chipmunks on Holiday. There you go. That'll be our next song on Suno. The Chipmunks on Holiday. But I won't be able to speed up. Mainstream media you cannot trust. Oh, I know, Yolanda. That's why we do this. Streak has never said anything about genocide. It's just, he said in an interview, we have really cocked government. Yep, exactly right. Yep, misinformation. I never heard him say anything about that. It's just typical. So they want to destroy his reputation. Screw them. Screw them. These people are evil racists. They call people racist to undermine them, and they're the ones to be undermined. I think the Church of South Africa has lost its way of paper. Oh, your Church of South Africa are captured. Your media is captured. Your government's captured. And again, I say all the opposition parties are captured. Why aren't they talking about Pala Pala? Why is nobody talking about Pala Pala? There are clearly crimes committed here. Here goes the white pigeon. Bye-bye, racist. Is that Lorette? The first game is Friday. And Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I've got games. Friday, I'm in Sunderland, which is way up the northeast of England, not too far from Scotland, and near Newcastle. So Sunderland is the first game. Stadium of Light, that's the opening game. It's England versus USA, so I'm at that game. And then on Saturday, oh, these guys are climbing the trees now. What the hell are they doing over here? Are they taking pictures? My photo bomber's in the tree. He's over there in the tree. He's hanging out right over in that tree. I don't know if you can see him, but right over there. She's on the bench taking pictures of him hanging around the tree. Look at him. Oh my goodness. Anyway, yeah. So then Saturday, I'm off to York. I got 1 or 2 games in York. I think it's 1 game this day. And then on Sunday, it's Northampton. So the games are all towards the weekend. It's not like the men's where they have more teams. There's only 12 teams in the women's tournament. I think it's 12. And there's 20 in the 16 or 20 in the men's. And so men have to play more games to get to their 4 for each of those. So they have games during the week in the men's. But here, it's just the games on the weekend. So anyway, yeah. So, yeah, there you go. So it's a busy weekend. Okay. Keep filming. I am filming. Song about squirrels losing their nuts. President start mentioning the genocide in Central America soon. Which genocide are you talking about in Central America? Where's the genocide occurring? What am I devastated about? About Dricus? No. About the Springboks? Yes, I was devastated about last Saturday's game. These people are projecting race. They are projecting racism. Incoming broken leg. Yeah, no kidding. Women's sports sucks, says James Peterson. Yeah, the women's tickets are reasonably priced. Yeah, they weren't bad at all. Whereas the men's are just, it's outrageous. I mean, I paid a fortune for 1 game. The Taxi Association apparently made public statement refuting that they gave instructions for drivers to hold roadblocks. Huh. Ross team announced today we hopefully are going to have a scorching game. I covered that earlier, Leona. I covered the team selection today. The only surprise for me came at lock. I wasn't surprised that the fly half would change. I didn't expect to see Monty survive that game. And for those in News 24 claim that he's now the leading candidate for the fly half, you're crazy. The fact he was picked the first game is because I think Rossi thought that this was a game they shouldn't lose. And so it wouldn't matter if he missed from the tee, but it didn't matter. But it wasn't because of Monty. It was because of the team's defensive effort in the second half. So I expected to see Sasha or Pollard come in. I was surprised to see Eben Etzebeth and Lou Diager take a seat for Arge Stayman and Roy Nordkia. Nothing wrong with that, but I'm surprised to see both of them go out. And wasn't surprised to see Villaroo come back in at fullback. We didn't really have an impressive performance in this game by the team, so I'm not surprised. Interesting seat. Yeah, I do have a nice spot here, Debbie. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Cartels. Racism and pigment in one's imagination. Aha, I'm going to paint the old Southern flag inside the potholes. Hey, Julie. 1 block away from Angie's mansion in Cape Town. Okay. Livac is not in the new team. No, he's not. Oh, the sun's fighting to come out. It's getting brighter out here now. Oof, it's been cloudy the whole time I've been in England. African squirrel stuffing his couch with money. Finally got out on Sunday. Expect to win, but that level, okay. Jerry Rugby commentary, as I don't have Sky support, you were my lifeline for the game. Unfortunately, Neil, my apologies, but I won't be broadcasting over the weekend because I'll be attending games of the World Cup, so I won't be able to cover the next couple weeks. I'll try if I can. I might be able to get a Curry Cup game in here or there, but no promises on that either. Pablo says, Charlie, what about us colors? Do we not matter? Who's talking about colors? Who's talking about whites? Who's talking about blacks? What are you talking about? You didn't even address to anybody, Pablo, Charlie. Why the bizarre comment out of nowhere? You should know as well as anybody that I spend a great deal of time promoting coloreds, colored community. Yeah, so I don't know what you're talking about. What about us coloreds? Yeah, I think Pollard kicking would have made a difference in the second half. On the conference, Rossi said he wants the bomb squad back to being effective. Well, they weren't effective in that. Ave needs me to watch your email. Well, I haven't gotten to my email. I'll try to do that tonight. I've got, I think, 8 days before my email gets shut down, and I still have 4.5 gigabytes of mail to delete in my email account. I've got some work to do there. So I've got 12,000 or 11,900 unread messages. That's not going to do it. Even if I got rid of every single unread message, I'm still going to be over. So there must be a lot of attachments stored somewhere. I got rid of all the academic years of all the papers from my students, their thesis, all of that. That was a lot of attachments plus files, and that lowered, I don't know how much it lowered it, but I got rid of academic year 16, 17, 18, and 19, 4 years of War College files, deleted those from my personal account. I've deleted so much stuff, and I'm still 5 gigabytes over, so I got a lot of work to do in the next week, and I won't have the weekend to do it, so I'm going to have to do it next couple of days and clean up that email, and it's taken me hours to do that. To get rid of 10,000 messages takes me about an hour minimum. And so I've gone from 419,000 unread messages to 11,900. So that's quite a bit. I've cleared out over 400,000 messages, plus I cleaned out all of those other files, which were read messages. And that's, man, I've probably deleted at least 450 or 500,000 emails, 450,000, 500,000 emails. And I'm still not under my limit. And this is bullshit because it was never a limit to it before. I may have to wind up paying, which is going to be problematic. I don't like paying these people for my email because it's not satisfactory. It's okay. Anyway, here's some people came in when I got here. They walked in the park the exact same time, and they've been walking around. I've been on for an hour and 7 minutes now, so they've been here for about an hour and 15 minutes, and they've done their walk through the park here, and they're headed out. It's a couple. It's an English lady with, I can't tell if I think he's South Asian, and their baby. A lot of that going on around here. Yeah, it's overcast all over England today. You should see the disgusting hate wankers, racist marks, and any Cameron attack. Wow. Where are the comments at that you're seeing? Is it on X? Is that where you're seeing it? Because then I'll do a video about that. About the squirrels, but the money in the couch. Okay. Well, box losing on purpose is not even a good plan because they dropped from number 1 in the world to number 3. And getting that back is not going to be easy. Would you say ISIS committing a genocide in Iraq, then why not Central America? Well, ISIS isn't in Central America. What are you talking about? The Wi-Fi on the flight isn't fast enough to go through these emails the way I have to. Plus, I'd have to use my laptop. YouTube says there's an error when you try to comment. Nope, I see a Wild Mountain. I see your comment. There's no error. I couldn't have used my laptop because the person in front of me thought that her chair was a recliner and did this as soon as we got in air. So my laptop top would have been smashed and broken if I'd had my laptop open because she had no respect and no manners. So you can't take a chance on a flight unless you're sitting in a row with no one in front of you with a laptop. So it just doesn't work. Nearly lost a laptop before. I did not see the Ian Cameron's attack, but several people mentioned since the beginning of this stream. Can't get rid of the fact that one of the big churches I will donate 250,000. A church is donating money to Hamas? Which church is that? Will expose them as racist. Neil downloads me and watches me on the flights. That's interesting. My daughter and I got up to support Driekus, but since we don't know the rules, I commented it was like watching a wrestling game. The haters came for you, free Palestine? What the hell does Palestine have to do with UFC? Who are you rooting for the Women's World Cup? USA. I'll root for South Africa when they play. But yeah, I'll rooting for the USA. Rankings mean nothing. The only thing that means something is Webb Ellis, and that's not true, Napoleon Dynamite. It's not true. The All Blacks can legitimately claim they were the best team in the world for well over a decade, as they were never removed from the perch of the top place, and they won 2 World Cups in a row. We won 2 World Cups in a row. We've lost the top spot several times. So it's hard for us to make a legitimate claim that we're the best in the world, particularly when the All Blacks ran the table in each of their World Cups and went 8 wins, no losses to win 2 World Cups, and we lost. We lost and won the World Cup. So, it does make a difference. If you want to be the greatest team of all time, yes, we have more World Cups than anybody else, but it only takes one more for the All Blacks to catch up to us. So, it does matter. If your phone's not uploading your gallery items to a Google account, that space is not only for emails. It's not Google where I have a problem with my space and my email utopia. It's Yahoo. Yahoo, I had unlimited storage, and I've had that account since 1995, 96, and it was bought out by Verizon because that idiot woman that ran it in the ground, and then they had to sell Yahoo for a song, and Verizon bought the email portion of Yahoo, and they've been running it for the past 3 or 4 years, and now they're trying to make money. They can't figure out how to make money, so I guess they figured they make money by limiting people's email size. Well, that's all fine and dandy, but how about some announcement more than 30 days in advance? That's bullshit. So they told me 30 days beforehand, if you don't lower your account to 20 gigabytes, your mail will be frozen. Well, they didn't even tell me what size my account was. I couldn't figure it out until sometime later when I finally figured out that on the mail app, which they didn't tell me, you can't find it online. It's stupid. This is one of the problems with why I don't like the mail, but the account is one I use. Where the hell is the Yahoo Mail at? So you find Yahoo Mail here. But it's very annoying. I'll just do it this way. Here we go. Yahoo Mail. Okay, I have 24.47 gigabytes, and I didn't discover how much space I had until I got down to just 50,000 unread messages. So I deleted 369,000 unread email messages, and I was at 24.9. So when I've got it 50,000, I've gone from 50,000 down to 11,000, and I've reduced it by approximately 5 gigabytes. So if in fact 5 gigabytes, then if it's just, you can't really count this because some of them can have big attachments, we don't know, but let's just say all things being equal, every 50,000 takes you 5, so every gigabyte takes you 1, every 10,000 takes you down a gigabyte, right? Yeah. So if that's the case, that means I probably would have had a mail account with about 70 or 80 gigabytes of data. Would have been nice to know that as I delete these things, but I didn't know that. So, we're losing audience. Where are people going? Sure, UK Trip, give us news about the hectic American situation. Been paying $2.99 for extra email storage for years. Well worth it. Who, to Yahoo? Last flight back from Thailand, I was so irritated with the women in front of me reclining nearly on top of my lap. Yeah, Julie, that happens to me on most of my flights. People seem to think that that airplanes are lounge chairs on a beach, and they have no consideration for people behind them, and the jackasses lower the front of their seat down and smash it. I've had meals dumped on me because they just push the button and slide back like that. I've had a laptop lid nearly destroyed because they have no consideration manners. The few times that I recline my seat, I always turn around to the people behind me and say, excuse me, do you mind is it okay if I go back now? I make sure that I'm not disrupting someone behind me. But most people don't have those kind of common sense and common manners. It's just, it's unbelievable. It's really annoying that people do that, but they do it, and they have no compunction. They don't care. They don't care. They just don't care. They don't care. And, I was on a flight coming back from South Africa, and I couldn't even get to my drink that was knocked over by the person in front of me. When they leaned their chair back, they knocked it over because there wasn't enough space between, because they put the drink holder at the back of the tray, and I had the tray pulled towards me, but she went back so far that she hit the drink, knocked it over, spilled it in my lap, and then it fell on the floor. I couldn't bend over and get it because I couldn't move forward. When I leaned like this, so I was like this, I leaned that far forward, my head was hitting the chair. I mean, I couldn't even look down and see my entire plate. Why do they let seats recline like that? It's so disgusting. It's so rude. It's so disrespectful. I mean, and that person paid no more for their flight than I did. Google, I pay Google for access to get 100 gigabytes. Yeah, but it's not 35 Rand. Oh, it's per month. Yeah, no, I pay 20 bucks a year. But this isn't Google. Immigrants not welcome. Well, there's a lot of people who feel that way around the world. Yeah, different means establishing Rugby World Cup back #1 back when they. Well, the system they have now has been in place for some time. Yeah, the Bucks weren't in '87. They weren't allowed to join. They didn't come in until '95. That was their first World Cup. They missed the first 2. So percentage basis, they won more World Cups than anybody. So they were in '95, '99, 2003, 2007, 2011, 2015, 19, 23. So the Springboks have been in 8 World Cups. They won 4 of them. They have a 50% title ratio. The All Blacks have been in all of them. They've been in 10 of them, and they've won 3. So they have a 33%. Springboks are ahead of them, but they got to win the next one to keep that streak going. Okay. The rankings is one at the end of the year will determine who will top 6R for that pool World Cup. Okay. Stand X, the best place to identify haters. It is a great place to identify hateful people. Yeah, well, I have to figure out how to do that because it doesn't just make it simple to check for attachments. Some services do, but not Yahoo. And then once I get below 20, I've got to keep it below 20, so I'm going to have to figure that out. Okay. I don't know if King Charles has cancer. I heard he did. Leslie says, I'm never sending you an email, WhatsApp, or SMS ever. Okay. All right, Leslie. All right. Not sure why. Charlene's here. Okay. Talk racism. Took the family to Acro Branch last Saturday. Young black girl, maybe 10 or so behind us in the queue, complaining about how insulted she was because they gave her white gloves. Wow. Wow. That is a problem. That's raising racist. Raising racists. Oh, the pigeons are fighting over here now, and the squirrel is watching. Ooh, these pigeons are in a duel. Ooh, one of them's retreating. Now he's moving around. I guess they're not done. They haven't given up yet. Great show, but I need to go. Ronaldo's show. Have a great evening. Well, why do you need to go to Ronaldo's show? Why do you need to go to Ronaldo's show? You don't have to go there. Ronaldo's show can be watched after the fact. Solution, don't know if it's similar to Google Drive. I noticed that my photos took 25 gigs and my 29 gigs. The photos have no impact here. It's the mail. It's just mail. So, which airline is that? Well, it's all kinds of airlines. It's been on Delta. It's been on United. It's been on South African Airways, but that's been a long time ago. Yep. Doesn't matter which airline. They're all the same. They're all crap these days. Yeah, if you're 2 meters tall or close to it. Please pause the show. Need to go get a rum. Okay, Alan. We'll all wait for you to come back. No, the guy calling for 7% to be killed now, not later. The 93 was enough hate speech. I didn't see that. Yeah, I'm sure it's orchestrated. Russell, nice to see you back. He's got an All Blacks flag up there. Well, even though you've got the All Blacks flag, we'll welcome you in here, Russell Holden Smith. You're welcome to the program, even though you have an All Blacks as your avatar. Apparently something in the U.S. is going on with ambulances transporting immigrants from the torture center, Alcatraz. Alcatraz is not a torture center. What the hell are you talking about? Alcatraz is a national park. There's no torture center there. Or are you talking about the alligator Alcatraz in Florida? Going to miss Tammy Bruce. What happened to Tammy Bruce? Oh, you mean you're going to miss her today? Budget airlines are planning standing room. Yeah, no. Ryanair proposed that a few years ago, and the Europeans nixed it. They nixed it. Any flight less than an hour, they said they should be allowed to let people stand on the flight the entire time. Yes, churches in South have always been politically aligned. That's true. Hate the rugby rankings. Ireland don't even play. We lose and lose 2 ranking spots. Yep, that's right. African gentlemen encouraging people to kill white people. I haven't seen that one. Someone sent me something, but I couldn't get it to load because I didn't have enough connection earlier. That's a new song right there, Pigeon Brawl. Where's the loyalty? Yep. Also reported back to the Cape that the Boer women and children were treated very well in the concentration camps. Yeah, remember that? 6-4, I'm going to suffer on the plane. Yeah, I'm with you there, Cronier. Same thing here. Were you at the Chelsea Flowers show? Nope, I wasn't. Rugby World Cup final will set a record attendance for women's next month with a crowd of more than 80,000 at Twickenham. I won't be there, Mad Max. I'm not staying for the final. I am catching quarterfinals, though, this time, which is unusual. I'll be in Exeter for those quarterfinals. Shout out to my 2 kids in Hampshire. Okay, Annaline Erasmus, greeting to your 2 kids in Hampshire. Tammy Bruce was promoted? Okay, I didn't hear that. Viral rant. Yeah, send me that, Charles, on WhatsApp. You've got me on WhatsApp. Send me that if you've got that. I'll take a look at it. I'll make a video content about it. Yep. I see you're missing your live stream beverage. Well, I bought one here in the UK, and it was like drinking. Ugh, it was disgusting. It's sitting in the car. I was going to bring it here and drink it during this broadcast, but it's disgusting. Yeah, I see Shelly wipe it out again. She's lashing out the Americaners. Well, okay, as long as she leave me alone. UN spokesperson. She's moved to New York. Okay. Thank you for doing it live. It's great. Thank you, Caroline. I appreciate it. Be sure to hit the like button, folks. Can't even stand. Budget airlines won't make a dime from me. They eat the squirrels. They eat the pigeons. Oh, okay. You tagged Nicklin in that. Okay. Secondhand fridge. And the Hitler admin deleted my post. Ask why read Rule 3. Still no wiser. That must be on Facebook. Nothing meets a life in the current. Well, thank you for that, Krista. That's very kind of you. Ludwig says shout out to his uncle and cousins near London. Okay. And Miss Cutman sent me the. Okay, I'll probably have one. And FitNut Innovations is out. Where are you going, man? I'm sitting here. Where are you leaving to? You leaving yet? It's amazing how the weather hasn't shifted at all. By the way, it's a good thing I brought a hoodie because, I mean, most people, South Africans, be sitting here, their teeth would be chattering. Trust me. Their teeth would be chattering. South Africans would be sitting here and their teeth would be like, right now. A sardine can fly at 600 miles per hour. I didn't know a sardine could fly. Can you swim through the water? We love you, Mr. Chris. Well, thank you very much for that. Appreciate it. I had Pala Pala going through my head. Picky about which row you sit in the plane. No, I do care. I try to get an exit row if I can. So for best experience so far in the UK, the 2015 World Cup was pretty amazing, but I have to say the first time I was in the UK in 1992 was pretty cool. Husband's doing very well, walking small distance, may get out of hindsight. That's awesome to hear there, Lorette. That bypass surgery, wow. Blood test, CT scan. Oh my goodness, that's crazy. We love you so much. Well, thank you, Liv. That's very kind of you. I appreciate that. Plenty of haters out there. Got lots of haters out there, guys. I mean, you guys seen some of the comments. I didn't delete a lot of them. My mom had a bad pancreatic attack. I have to keep an eye on her. Good Lord. All right, FitNut. It's seen several times now. Okay. Huh. Yeah, I wish YouTube had an edit button. Why? What do you want to edit, Ruben? What do you want to edit? This guy's banging the spade back there behind me now. Wait, who's working at this hour? It's, what time is it? It's 6 p.m. I guess he's just coming home now, but it's a school. Maybe it's the groundskeeper. Just thinking it might be the groundskeeper. Anyway, haters can go for a walk and not in your park. Agreed. Oh yeah, no, it's 10,000 to 1, but it just takes one rude person to be disrespectful. It's amazing how many people are. There's some English people. Oh my God, there's English people in the park. Can you imagine that? English people. Wow, look at that. They're English. I know they're not Ukrainian because I can hear them. They're not Polish because I can hear them. Wow, imagine that, man. Can you imagine that, seeing English people in England? Wow. Oh, here's some more people. They're not English. So you can be British but not be English. You can be British but not be Welsh. You can be British but not be Irish. You can be British but not be Scots. See, these folks here are definitely not English. Right there, two Asian ladies. They might be British citizens for all I know, and none of my business, but they're definitely not English. Now, I have English origins. Wyatt is a well-known name in England for a number of reasons. Famous poem writers, poet Adam Wyatt, and then, of course, led an insurrection, marching army of 10,000 followers from Kent up to London. By the time they got to the gates of the city of London, the army had whittled away to about 5,000, and Sir Thomas Wyatt was captured at the head of his insurrectionist army, trying to overthrow the crown, imprisoned in the Tower of London, and at the age of 34, beheaded. His head was chopped off. Fortunately for me, 90,000 Wyatts living in America and countless Wyatts living in England, he had a son already, and the son continued the Wyatt line. Otherwise, the Wyatt line would have died off there when they tried to rise up against the crown. So yeah, but the family was rehabilitated and later became quite famous again. And we had the first royal governor of Jamestown County, Virginia, Sir Francis Wyatt, my 17th great uncle. His brother, the Reverend Hout Wyatt, or Hout Wyatt, was the progenitor of the Wyatt line in North America. There's another Wyatt that came later on and landed in Massachusetts about a century later, but most Wyatts are descended from Hout Wyatt or Hout Wyatt. Yeah. And then his subsequent generations, like Conquest Wyatt. What a cool name. My ancestors, my great-great-great-great-grandfather's name was Conquest. Conquest Wyatt. Now that's a cool name. That's a cool name. So, yeah, pretty cool stuff there. Bucket list of places to see this weekend. Well, I'm going to see the Lakes District, so, but I'm really just trying to catch up on some things and catch my breath and enjoy the rugby and stay on top of things. So, it is a pretty park, yeah. Yeah, folks are glad to hear Lorette's husband's doing well. I think we're all happy to hear that. So many people with bad stories about bad things happening. Chris Ayler's home being burglared, and they stole all his documents. I don't get why you're stealing documents. That's just crazy. Anyway, True Patriots, crackling anti-establishment music. Still don't know why Ruben wants the edit button. Yeah, I'm not sure what that's all about. So our audience is withering away as the people disappear to go watch Ronaldo, apparently. I guess he's on now. But Ronaldo shouldn't be on. Oh yeah, it's 7 o'clock South Africa time. What am I thinking? It's 6:20 here. See, again, adjusting. So this is my first live from here. I've been here a full day now. Yep, full day now. But guys, for those tuning in late, I really was knackered. I didn't realize how tired I was until I laid down yesterday afternoon after settling down, and I woke up around midnight and woke up again a couple times at night to go bathroom. And then today just knackered and slept for a good portion of the day, just out of it. Recharging the batteries, but I'm recharged now. I'm feeling better, and hopefully back to a normal pace. And, it's not jet lag. If people think it's jet lag, trust me, I know what jet lag is. It's not jet lag. I haven't been sleeping the past several days. Been busy working my tail off, so that's what it was. Just had sleep deficit that I had to make up for. So, yep. Jet lag would linger for a few days, but I'm fresh as a daisy right now. So, other than that crappy Starbucks I bought at a co-op, it was terrible. Those little bottles, man. I mean, they're great in the U.S. They're okay in South Africa, but they are not okay here. It was nasty. But you know what? I'll probably go buy another one because $2.40 is cheaper than the 5 or 6 pounds I'd have to pay in actual Starbucks. And the Starbucks aren't on every corner here like they are in America. I got plenty of them, but they're not on every corner. They're at every rest stop, but they're going to charge you a fortune there. So yeah. Anyway, but not cheap stuff. Anyway, why are we back on top fans? I didn't say top fans. I want live chat. There we go. There we go. Whereabouts UK your ancestors? Well, Kent is where most of my ancestors. Number one ancestor worked in Kelmarsh in North Hampshire. No, that's not my ancestors did not come from the Midlands. Did not come from up north. Did not come from. I do have ancestors because I mean, if you're a white Anglo-Saxon Protestant in the United States, odds are you have English ancestry that links back to royalty at some point. Many people do, including me. So Edward Longshank, my ancestor. William the Conqueror, my ancestor. Harold Godwinson, the man he killed at Hastings, my ancestor. Both of them are 34th great-grandfathers. Yeah, so lots of English royalty that I'm related to. And, of course, some of that because they married into the Welsh. I have some Welsh royalty, too, going back a ways. So, but the Welsh is centuries ago. It's so far gone, I probably have 1 or 2 pieces of DNA from the Welsh ancestry. Yeah, and I have some Scots. But the Scots weren't royalty. Those were Scots who left and fled starving Scotland and went to the United States and settled there and fought in the Revolutionary War, but just one ancestor. So the Scots piece died off pretty quickly. So, but yeah, lots of English, lots of German, lots of Viking ancestry, Normans, yeah, so Swiss German. Yep, interesting background. It's interesting how people can all come from places and emerge and become one at some point. Yep, that's why people need to get beyond this stupid racism nonsense. Grandfather, mother's side concentration camp. Oh my goodness. Governor flew to France, wrong country to check the driver's license printing machines. What's that? What are you talking about, Max? The driver's license machines come from Germany. Land of the old nutsack, says Helen. Okay. Bob is a Colonel Wyatt fan. Thank you, Tinky. True Patriots. You'll love the music. Okay. We are true patriots. Don't know it. William the Conqueror, Old Sarum, outside Salisbury, defeated the pagan army. French and Scottish ancestry. That's not surprising. That's not surprising. Temperatures dropping now. It's got a little chillier here in the last 10 minutes. A little bit chillier here. So you guys are diehard sticking with me this long. Some people have already departed. Oops, what's that? Hang on a second. I think I had something important I'd look at. Nope, nothing there. Just checking my mail. Okay, I phoned my best friend Charmaine yesterday in hospital. She collapsed at work and her lupus, oh my goodness, has now caused adhesion in her brain. Oh my goodness, in her 40s. Enjoy your break. Look forward to ladies rugby dinner time. All right, Joan, enjoy your dinner. Okay. Hope it's a nice one. God bless it. Something in my eye here. Driving me nuts. Anyway. So. Seems a lot of us have ancestors Battle of Hastings with William the Conqueror. My grandpa was a Middlesex, grandmother's family Scottish. Yeah, there you go. Dutch Irish for me. Swear at you now for console drinking Guinness. Thank you, Vera. Missing your chats. Gonna stay till you call today. Thank you for that. Of course, we'll stay if you aren't live. Then we sit around counting teeth. Well, I don't want to hear about that. That's interesting. That's interesting. But we've got, is Hendo here? Hendo was here earlier. Eric is here. Arctic is here. I saw Debbie Morey here earlier. Got some OGs. I didn't see Dylan. Is Dylan here? Dylan Kalmberg. Dylan's used. There's Hendo right there. There he is right there. Okay. Gus is here. That's an OG too. Maddie, Aretha Milan, still here. We were long-winded tonight. We missed you. Oh, thank you. Still getting our fix. Okay. Amazing how there's not a crowd around you yet. Well, this is UK. I mean, I've got some viewers in the UK, but it's not like South Africa. It's not like South Africa. I can still be anonymous in the UK. But, of course, the moment I think I'm anonymous, that'd be the moment people come up to me and go, hey, aren't you the Colonel? I'm trying to find out-of-the-way places. I think at the rugby I might be recognized. It's possible, but I wouldn't hold my breath on it. My experience with the Women's Rugby World Cup is that most of the people that go are just curious onlookers who come from the country where the game is being played, or they're family and friends of the players, or they're lesbians. That's been my experience. I'm sorry, but it's true, folks. I've seen a pretty intense smattering of lesbians at the Women's World Cup in the past. I've been to 2 Women's World Cups in the past. I've been to France in 2014, Ireland in 2017. I was supposed to be in New Zealand 2021, but they delayed it 2022, and then I had a conflict. I couldn't go to the Rugby League World Cup, the Sevens World Cup, and the Women's World Cup. It was impossible. I couldn't swing it. So, yeah. New lyric deprivation of Wyatt Shopify. What is Wyatt Shopify? You mean Spotify? Okay. Legend ever. Okay. Do I hear you've been full? Yeah, Caroline, you heard I'm full of myself. Someone said that. In which movie Braveheart was based, his ancestor. Oh, that's pretty cool. Excuse me. Hey, Barrett gave 140 rand. Thank you for that. Ancestors lost at sea. Thank goodness they missed the UK. Well, how did you get here if your ancestors lost at sea? Oh, they got lost. They missed the UK. Stay off. Yeah, no, the squirrels are telling me stay off their lawn. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, so in 2022, instead of going to the Women's World Cup in New Zealand, which I bought tickets for, I did go to the Sevens World Cup in Cape Town, which was great. Had lunch with Germ and Ronaldo. And when I was sitting next to Louis Liebenberg at the stadium, that was interesting. He was sitting right next to me. Talk about ironic. And this is before he got in all his trouble. And then I ran into Ronaldo when I was down there too. I already said Ronaldo. And had a great time. That was 2022, my first trip back, and went to that World Cup. And then I went to England for the Rugby League World Cup, which was pretty awesome. Rugby League is different. The World Cup is really fun. You get to see teams like Papua New Guinea and little tiny Cook Islands play. It was pretty cool. Stadiums weren't full, but they were pretty good attendance. One of the games was really full, though. So I enjoyed that. That was a lot of fun. But parking, oh gosh, parking in English is such a nightmare. Got an email response from Department of Home Affairs. What's that all about? Let me go back and see that. They must just be able to help sort out hubby citizenship. I don't know what you're talking about there, Lynette. Twin in UK. Huh. What about Japan, Richard? What about Japan? No, there's no border mice in England, that's for sure. Frederick Engels. Are you serious? Friedrich Engels. Yeah, don't tell him that. All right, I'm half Mexican, half Spanish, and that was a shock. How can you be half that and half that and have a name like Charlene Berger? That doesn't make sense. Hey, Randall Potgieter, good to see you there. Came U.S. citizen yesterday, happy for her. Congratulations to your cousin. Lots of woke Karens in the UK. Yeah, there are. There are. So I just try to stay away from them. But good luck with that. Good luck with that. One thing I really hate about the UK too is because the way they build houses in some of these cities, they're just so tight on top of each other that you have to park in the street. And I wouldn't want to park my car in the street. Well, I've been here long enough to enjoy the UK. So far, I've enjoyed the outrageously priced burgers, the terrible frappuccinos, the hideous traffic, the gray overcast clouds. I mean, how the Germans ever found their targets here when they're bombing. You can't see anything. Fritz, we're over the target. Let the bombs go. Oh, scheiße, we missed the target. You can't see shite here. No, England is always cloudy. You can't see anything. No, it's vicious. No, we come back again tomorrow. We come back tomorrow. Okay, Fritz. Oh my goodness, married to a Boer. Ah, that's why, okay. Yeah, I'll tell you what, if the Germans were not dropping bombs here during the Second World War, if those things hit one of these chunky pigeons, probably knock it off course and miss the target, man. I mean, these pigeons are the size of rabbits. They are huge. And they're green. What's that all about? Green pigeons. I've never heard of green pigeons, man. That's just crazy. Anyway, just saying, folks. Just saying. Righto. Well, we're dropping down to 500. People are leaving. Some people really leaving here. Germans used to use the street lights for light. Yeah, but they turned the lights off, so that didn't work very well. Wales is inexpensive. That's true. Neil Yard, a name like Yardy, I would expect you to live in Wales. I like Wales. I like Snowdonia. Ooh, yeah, nice. I like Cardiff. Cardiff, a big town. I actually like Cardiff. Yep, I love Millennium Stadium. Yep, World Cup was fantastic. I've been there for the Olympics. I went there because they played rugby, or they played, it's not rugby, soccer there. So I went there and watched Team GB versus Korea. We'll talk about a boring game. I sat in the highest row you could possibly sit in Millennium Stadium, the very top. I couldn't do that now. I couldn't walk up there with this hip, but I walked all the way to the top of the stadium. Man, oh man, at the end of the pitch too. Talk about way up there. But when I was at the World Cup, I had seats down low. I paid more, so it was good. Went to 2 games there. I watched New Zealand play. They played Georgia, I think it was. And there's another game I watched. Yep. It only rains 2 times here, from January to June, from July to Mumbles and Swansea. Don't know that. That was definitely a nosebleed, yeah. But I liked Cardiff. It was nice. Well, you're welcome. There's Dylan. He's here. Okay. I was wondering if he was here. Okay. UK's undercover. Unwins come from Wales. Well, that makes sense. Yeah, it's a shame about the local team. That's true, Hendo. Yep. Yep. Yeah, they can't make up their mind if they're not the Cardiff Blues anymore. Now they're Cardiff Rugby. I like it when they're the Blues better. I met one of the guys who played for them. The 2011 World Cup was standing in line to get a burger at a joint after the game, and after, was it then, or yeah, it was then. It was after 2011, and he played for the Cardiff Blues. He was from New Zealand. DX Ghoul. Good evening to you. Boy, you guys spell my name wrong all the time. It's W-Y-A-T-T. There you go. Roasted pigeon. I'll pass. Which is worse, Ramaphosa or Hitler? Well, Hitler, but Ramaphosa's pretty bad. Ramaphosa's pretty bad. Hitler's definitely worse, but Ramaphosa's pretty bad. There's no excuses. You can't say he's good. Yeah, not good stuff. All right, so the country pigeons speak different dialect than city pigeons. Okay, if you say so. Jake Overly Thinker's out of here. It's the first time I saw him comment. Take care. Have a good night there, Jake. Thanks for being here with us. Let me put my phone back on the charger here. Let's see. So I'm about 83% now. I was at 90 earlier, so let's get it back up there. Chris wrote to me while we're on the air. Chris Ehlers. Huh? Sorry, I was the Truth Report sent me a note. I'm like, what's going on there? They said I own the video. Rakes is way behind the chat. Just noticed it. Okay, sorry about that. Okay. MTN scandals, big ANC caught in bed with Iran. Okay. Gus, how you doing, man? Gus been around a long time with us too. MTN scandal. Yeah, no, this MTN scandal is not going to go away. The rumors about it apparently are turning out to be true. I'm not a big fan of rumor intelligence, but it does seem to be something that's got legs to it. So I have to stick with that story and see what's going on. Buffalo nose steals more than a dog. Yes, Richard Reeves, any dictator is bad. I agree. The puppet on a string, even when we hear his speeches repeat the previous year. It's Ramaphosa is like a bottle of shampoo. The directions are very simple. You take it on the back, you read it says rinse, lather, and repeat. Rinse, lather, repeat. He's stuck in the rinse, lather, repeat cycle. It's not going anywhere. Toyota would stop selling quantum parts like what's that? It's raining, it's raining. Yeah, it is raining, yeah. Lamb shake. I don't eat lamb. Nope. That's for the Welsh and the Kiwis. Do you know that pigeon genes are so strong that if a specialist pigeon loses 2 generations, their babies are just normal people? No idea what you're talking about there. And why do you guys have to mention rain? I think I just got a drop on me here. Germany sponsored part of the national dialogue. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Pevratin. Pervitin. Okay, I don't know that. That sounds like that drug they were using. Yeah, so for those who tuned in late, wow, we just dropped 4. People must be running over to Ronaldo like crazy. So I hope you're enjoying your time at Ronaldo. People here can enjoy the beautiful scene. That's where I'm sitting. Cotswolds. Yeah, I've driven past the Cotswolds, never really gone into it. I don't think I've really driven through it. I did watch, Agatha Raisin. That's in the Cotswolds. I love that show. Yep. Agatha Raisin, excuse me. Great show. But that's where I'm at, folks. What's that question for, DNN? Why are you asking that question to somebody? Yeah, that got deleted. It sounds very bizarre question to be asking. Thank you, Arctic, for taking care of that. Anyway, so that's where I'm sitting at. So, yep. When I'm done, I'm going to have to probably record it. Enjoyed Agatha Raisin. Yeah, no, I think it's done, though. I don't think I'll do any more. Are those oak trees? That one might be an oak tree. The other one isn't. Yeah, Agatha Raisin, I think, is done because she's now on Shetland. She does Shetland now. It's dark in Cape Town, but not dark here. It's overcast, but not dark. It's still daytime. If it wasn't for these English clouds, it'd be bright and sunny here. It'd probably be about 15 degrees warmer, too, Fahrenheit. Yeah, just imagine you shampoo that way. Rinse, lather, repeat. Rinse, lather, repeat. The garden is organized like a wild garden. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful spot. And there are lots of park benches in these gardens. I just picked a spot that's out of the way, and there's no one behind me because I've got a wall behind me. There's a school on the other side of that wall. So the wall goes up quite a ways. You can see it there. See? It goes up quite a ways. So I figured no one can disturb me here, and we've had a few people photobomb the show, which is pretty cool. And a lot of people think I'm filming this. I'm actually filming myself. Very pretty and peaceful scene it is, but you can hear the traffic go by. The main road is just not far away. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but it's... Ugh. Cyril doesn't have much to shampoo. That's true. He's kind of bald. Kind of bald. I don't know if it's a perfect location, Denver, but it's a very good spot. It's pretty peaceful here. Yeah, it's not too bad. So, yeah, it's because we're the latitude. See, that's the thing people don't realize. You know, Europeans came from very high latitude. The only reason Europe isn't an ice box is because of the Gulf Stream that comes up from the Caribbean along the Atlantic coast of the U.S. over the North Atlantic, missing Iceland but catching the Faroe Islands and continuing on to Europe and landing over, bringing warm air to England all the way into the continent as far as Germany and keeping it from becoming an ice box. Otherwise, it'd just be frozen all the time because it's so far north. Here's England, here's America height-wise, and then South Africa's way down there, of course, and the equator's down here. So the equator's down here, U.S. is here, and then England's way up here. But the Gulf Stream keeps from freezing. So if it wasn't for the Gulf Stream, we'd be cold right now. And because it's so far north of the Earth, it doesn't get dark until 9 or 10 o'clock at night. Some noisy bird just got in a tree. Oh, the squirrels are squeaking up there. 2 squirrels fighting in a tree. What is he doing? He's shimfing. I see it. He's about 7 meters up in a tree, and his tail's doing this. A squirrel. He's like, man. Ever get to watch the info by Johan Earl that I sent to you? No, anime? I don't even know what you're talking about. I haven't seen that. Racing pigeons that are bred for particular aspects. Okay, gotcha. No, we don't need these to go to UK, but now we have to pay for that stupid travel authorization. It's just a way for the UK government to steal money out of people's pockets. When they announced it, it was going to be £10. And by the time I applied for it, it was £16. It's just a way to steal money. It gives you 3 years authorization to come here, but it's ridiculous. It's just a way to make money off of people. Greedy bastards. Truth report. That got a question for him. Whoops, the phone's taken off there. Had a question for me, so I had to answer it real quick. Sorry about that. Well, there you go, Lynette. That's the way to do it. Watch it as a replay. I appreciate that. Ancestral visa, Chris, or visitors? I don't have an ancestral visa. I'm just a visitor. I could claim German citizenship. I could claim British citizenship, but not interested in either one. Tea tax. Yeah, I don't pay tea tax. I don't drink tea here. Rarely. It's at breakfast, maybe, if it's in the hotel. Virtual Western Cape, he said his personal documents were stolen. £635 for an ancestral NHI. Yeah, you have to pay for the health care, the insurance. It's a ripoff. Yep. Nah, Pauline, I'm not sure it was a joke, whatever you said. That is a noisy squirrel. He is fighting with somebody up in that tree. I don't know why. Thank you, Al Murray. You have a nice evening as well. Lovely to see you, Colonel. Thanks for live. Got to go back to beginning to see what I missed. Hope you have a lovely evening. All right. Cool beans. All right. All right, guys. Maybe we should wrap it up here. 762 likes. A little bit of super chat money. Thank you for that. And thanks for the audience tuning in. I have a video on the Springboks. I'll try to edit it tonight if I can and get it out. I don't know what he's doing, but he's very noisy up there. I thought it was a bird, and then I saw it was a squirrel. Squirrels don't usually make a lot of noise unless they've got something going on. He's fighting with someone in that tree. He didn't say passport, he said documents, so I don't know. Chris has got a lot of medical issues, a lot of things going on. Might be trying to steal his nuts. I knew somebody was going to say that. It's gone up last year over 1,000. They were lucky. Oh yeah, it's crazy. No, they doubled the fees. It's ridiculous. It's just a money-making scam, and they have to make the money because they let so many illegals in here. They give them housing, and then people that work for a living live in worse shape than the illegals. Yep. All right. I've been censored. You weren't censored. You asked a silly question. It got removed. Okay. Maybe a snake. A snake is not going to be that high up in the tree. I can still see him. I can see his tail up there. I don't know what his deal is. Maybe psychotic. It's a psychotic squirrel. All right, guys, be sure to hit the like button. Squirrel fighting the bugger off bunny. Could be it. All right, thanks, guys. I'll catch you later. And, yeah, we didn't say cereal. So be sure to hit the like button if you haven't hit it already. And I'll catch you on my next one, okay? Cheers.